It's been nearly 3 months since its release, and by now I think most gamers would agree that Hollow Knight Silksong was essentially a perfect sequel, one that expanded upon the scope and foundation set up by the first game in every conceivable way. But believe it or not, there are some people out there who still put that first game on top, and so naturally the question comes to mind, why in the name of Grindel's Wang would anybody still prefer the first game over its sequel? Silksong is literally just Hollow Knight on crack. It's bigger and grander, it has more variety, tighter movement and combat, more tools and upgrades, more characters and dialogue and towns and music, more of basically everything, and better gameplay too, across the board. So what could the first Hollow Knight possibly have to offer that could give it any sort of leg up on its successor? It makes no sense. You'd have to be stupid or something. Oh shit, I forgot! One of the things that made the first game so special was the powerful atmosphere of Hallownest itself, the melancholy and lonely feeling that pervaded every room and hallway in the game. And an argument can be made that Pharloom, for all of its variety and majesty, doesn't quite have the same impact. This is especially true when we consider that the first game has one of the best set-piece central areas in all of gaming, the City of Tears. My lord, man. This place is pure video game magic, and since the day Silksong was first announced, I always knew Team Cherry would try to one-up it somehow with the sequel, try to create some sort of area that symbolically follows in the footsteps of the City of Tears. But did they succeed? And if not, how close did they get? Well, let's find out! In this video, we'll go through Acts 1, 2, and 3 of Silksong, and for each one, try to identify which areas, if any, hold a candle to the City of Tears. For those that do, we'll rank them somewhere on this tier list spectrum of how close they come. And remember, we're hunting for a vibe here. Areas that qualify will be ranked by their atmosphere first and foremost, followed by music, followed by lore, in that order. Be sure to like and sub for more gaming analysis videos, and to help me reach my goal of 10,000 subs. And man, am I still talking here? Let's fucking rock and roll, man! This intro's 2 minutes long! Shit! Let's start with Act 1, where, in my opinion, after thinking it over, there's really only one area that I'd even consider as a contender with the City of Tears at all. This is understandable because Act 1 mostly takes place on the outskirts of Pharloom, and while it has a lot of fun and great areas, it's really just a prelude to the Citadel, a warm-up if you will. We kick things off with Moss Grotto, which I think was a great choice by Team Cherry as it will instantly shut up all those people who complained that the first game was too glum, the atmosphere is too dark and gray for me, I want my mommy, by hitting them with something pretty and green right out the gate. Moss Grotto, Shellwood, Far Fields, Hunter's March, these are all great forest areas reminiscent of the Green Path from the first game. I particularly love Hunter's March, a notorious difficulty spike to be sure, but definitely one of the most memorable and engaging moments in Act 1. But if you were to try to convince me that any of these are up there with the City of Tears, I would suspect that you have the brain of a wombat. A wombat, ladies and gentlemen. Bone Bottom, though, now that's a town! The part where the Skull Tyrant comes ripping in out of nowhere like, I'm back, motherfuckers! What a shocking twist. I love Bone Bottom. Name is kinda weird, though. Not sure what they were thinking there. But yeah, it doesn't make the list, I just thought it was cool and worth a shout out. Same goes for the Marrow, Deep Docks, the Wormways, the Blasted Steps, and Sinner's Road. They're all great and amazing areas to explore in their own ways, but not even close to COT, baby! Come on, let's keep it pumping. Weave Nest Atla, fuck it, just a small little underground cave, nothing much going on down there. Bellhard is also, in my opinion, kinda whatever. I know it's a very central and thematically significant town, and I do think it's cool how when you arrive, its citizens are all strung up like marionettes, but I gotta say, as an area and as a town, I think it's a bit of a sloppy dumpster shithole. Yeah, you get a little house here with a bathtub and Christmas lights, but who wants to live in a bell? That just sounds uncomfortable. Bells all over the floor and shit. Weird dude hiding in the basement. Hell, they even turned my own local Christmas market into Bellhard over here. What the hell is this? Not my cup of tea. When I think of it, Act 1 only has one area that even comes close, and that would be Greymoor. I love Greymoor. I see it as sort of the core of Act 1, the main central area you explore in the early game. I first got here by riding up with the flea caravan, and I always thought it was so simply beautiful, in its own glum sort of way. It also is quite similar to the City of Tears in that it's a large, melancholy area battered by endless rain, where a few bugs make their home surrounded by danger and decay. We don't learn much about Greymoor, but the premise seems to be that it used to be farmland before the Citadel ordered all the bugs here to start rapidly producing and processing silk, which they loyally did until the haunting turned the whole place into a ruin. So, where does Greymoor stand against City? Well, some people may like it better, I guess. I mean, it all comes down to opinion. But for my money, City of Tears still takes the cake for two reasons: music and lore. The Greymoor soundtrack is nice, but don't even fucking try to tell me it's in the same galaxy as the City of Tears music. You want to dance with the City of Tears theme song? You better be packing some frickin' muscle, man. And then story and lore-wise, the City of Tears has such a rich backstory, and even as you play, there's a sense of history to the place. You can see it everywhere. You can feel the remains of what this city used to be, what it represented. Greymoor is kind of just a wasteland. Granted, City is also a wasteland, but it's a meaningful wasteland, and therein lies the kicker. So yeah, with that, I'd say Greymoor does at least make the list as a contender, but all told, Act 1 doesn't have a Tears killer. Nope. Now, before we talk Act 2, there is one thing I forgot to mention here, which is that we can technically count the slab as part of Act 1. I didn't get taken there until Act 2, but as I was working on this, a friend of mine told me he got taken there in Act 1, so we'll have to include it here as well. Slab is one of my favorite areas in the game. God, I have a lot of favorite areas in this game. Right off the bat, I love how you get kidnapped by one of these snatchers and taken to the slab. Classic. For those who don't know, Team Cherry are big fans of Bloodborne, and this is a clear homage to that game where, if a certain enemy called a snatcher kills you, then instead of respawning in the area you were exploring, you instead wake up in a prison called the Hypogean Jail. I remember when that happened to me in Bloodborne, I was stunned. I was like, whoa, where the heck am I? Did that dude just kidnap me? It's an incredible premise, and I love how Hornet wakes up stripped to the loins. They dishonored the Princess of the Weavers, and now they must pay. I found it so exciting how you have to scuttle along the roof of the prison in the freezing cold and snow, and how you can see later on from Mount Fae that the prison is on the very outskirts of Pharloom. It's on the edge of a steep cliff, in the snowy wastes where sinners repent for their mistakes in grim isolation. The music is cool too, it's edgy, intense. The atmosphere is obviously nothing like the City of Tears, and it's not really a contender here, but it does have a very unique atmosphere of its own, and stands out as an iconic and memorable moment in the game. Well, at least put it on the list, you know? Give it a little kiss on the bunions. Not even close to a Tears killer, it's bottom tier, but the slab is a classic spot. Awesome spot. Oh shit, the mist! This is another area I see as an Act 2 area, but it can actually be accessed in Act 1 by breaking a secret wall on Sinner's Road. Speedrunners use this route to skip the last judge fight and reach the Citadel early. Personally, I'm extremely thankful I didn't find this secret, because it's 1,000 times better reaching Act 2 the intended way, climbing the blasted steps and fighting your way into the Citadel. The mist itself is a cool area, but it's more of just an interesting puzzle sequence that doesn't carry enough weight to make the list. Now, Act 2 is the true game. This is where things heat up a notch. Let's get cracking. It's clear that the Citadel, in terms of its place in the game design and the story, is this game's City of Tears. The Citadel is to Pharloom what the City of Tears was to Hallownest. It's the core of this game's civilization and world building. So this is where we're most likely to find our sweet little puppy. But first we have the Underworks. In terms of lore, this area is classic as it shows the societal stratification of the Citadel, how the whole thing is built upon the back of these miserable servants. But the atmosphere and music just aren't strong enough to make the list. In fact, let's just bang out all the spots in Act 2 that aren't gonna make the cut. No wasting time, come on baby. Underworks, Whispering Vault, the Putrefied Ducks, and the Cradle will not be making it to the next round. Goodbye, I give you this rose. Goodbye now, have a nice life. After weaseling your way through the Underworks, you finally emerge into the beating heart of this ancient land, the Choral Chambers. This is a big boy. The Choral Chambers is very clearly what Team Cherry intended to be this game's City of Tears. This right here is technically the answer to the question of this video. Which area in Pharloom is the next City of Tears? For many people, this is it. Hollow Knight is back, baby. This is the new hotness. And I could totally forgive anybody who wants to argue that this place is better than the City of Tears, or that it gives them the same feeling they had when they first arrived in the City of Tears all those years ago. So I'd hate to be the Debbie Downer of the century here, but I gotta say it. I just don't think they quite pulled it off. It's just not quite there. It's not quite there. It's close. It's fucking close. But no cigar. First though, credit where credit's due, the music is amazing. This is one of the best tracks Christopher Larkin has ever composed. The piano has this strong reverb to it, like it's echoing off of the bronze bell walls of these fading halls, the choir, the ascending strings. Oh mate, it's incredible, it's haunting. The lore here is also amazing and completely on par with City of Tears. This is the Citadel. All those pilgrims who got absolutely slaughtered on the long road gave their lives just for a chance, a glimmer of hope to lay their eyes upon this place, this pinnacle of civilization, the apex of their faith and dreams. But it's cursed. Like Hallownest, this place is long past its time of glory. It's become a corrupt and cruel caricature of itself due to the influence of the haunting. This game explores themes of theocracy, power, corruption, and the consequences of blind faith in institutions. And this place exemplifies that. It feels grand and beautiful, but everyone here is an asshole. With that said, it does have a bit more life to it than the City of Tears. There's a whole town in here with pilgrims who made it to the top. The butler is still kicking. I also love how it has a spa. I love spas, bro. You can take a shower next to a corpse. How nice! All in all, this area comes so close. It's got the amazing music, the lore, the scale, the scope, but where I don't think it delivers is the visuals. City of Tears was beautiful. I could stare at the City of Tears all day. I couldn't peel my eyes away from its beauty, its grace. The Choral Chambers are kinda custy. Like, look, I love bronze and I love gold.
I love gold!
But it just, I don't know, place looks musty. I don't want to go there, it's crusty. Ugly place. So for that reason, Choral is in the closest possible tier, but I don't think it reaches City of Tears level, and it doesn't eclipse it for me personally. I understand that it is, for all intents and purposes, this game's answer to the City of Tears, and I wish I could say that it's better and just wrap up this video right here, right now, but nah dog, City's better. Come at me, bro. Now let's look at the rest of the Citadel itself. Aside from Choral, you have the Grand Gate, the High Halls, the Cogwork Core, the Memoriam, the Whispering Vaults, the White Ward, and the Cradle. Grand Gate is a gate. Get out of here. You're just a gate. You can't do anything. Whispering Vaults already disqualified. Peace out. Someone in the comments is gonna say, oh, you don't understand the lore significance of Whispering Vaults. You didn't listen to all the records. Dude, come on. We both know that this musty library dump isn't even remotely close to the City of Tears in terms of atmosphere, quality, beauty, or any metric that actually matters. Thank you. Next. High Halls and Memoriam are both in the same sort of niche where they are beautiful, but also kind of forgettable because they're just insy-outsies. I crushed both of these areas in about 2 seconds and don't really remember the details. Memoriam is really cool because it shows flora and fauna from different parts of Pharloom that no longer exist. Like it serves as a record of the places that the Citadel has destroyed, but it's simply too short and uneventful to make the list. And frankly, I don't even remember if it has a theme song of its own. High Halls, on the other hand, has the classic royal, sort of fairy tale castle aesthetic, especially with its music and all the waterfalls, but it gets disqualified because, I don't know, it's too short. Also, that enemy gauntlet is a notorious pain in the ass. It never ends. Like, I love me a gauntlet, but this thing just never ends. It goes on and on. Cogwork Core is strictly badass. The song that plays here is one of the most hardcore tracks in the game, but it's really just a platforming gauntlet of cogs, and I wouldn't say it has a true soul. It's a mindless automaton of an area, like players who use cog flies. So while fun and cool, it's gonna get scrapped as well. And yes, I hate cog flies. Oh, and the Cradle is already disqualified just because it's too short and uneventful to make the list. That leaves White Ward. Fuck! This is definitely a standout area in the Citadel. It's this messed up hospital where you can tell these mad doctors experimented on probably their share of unwilling patients with silk. Definitely a cool, creepy, memorable area. But again, very small, kind of just a fun little zinger, nothing substantial enough to make the list. It also doesn't really have music per se, just weird sounds and ambience. So that's the Citadel, and personally I still don't think we found our Tears killer. But what else does Act 2 have to offer us? Quite a bit actually. Let's talk BILEWATER. BILEWATER is ugly as shit. Disgusting place. But it's also beautiful, in its own way, I suppose. When we're talking music, I actually think the BILEWATER theme is better than the Choral Chambers. It might actually be the most beautiful piece of music in the game for me. It's a sad melody, it gives a sense that something was lost, which makes sense because I believe the implication is that BILEWATER used to be a beautiful place before the Citadel dumped a payload of sewage into it, explaining why the enemies here hate you so much. Hornet is a weaver, and they have an eternal hatred for her and her kind for destroying their home. I love how this place is full of waste and resentment, a lost swamp crushed under the shadow of the Citadel. It's a long area to get through too that stands out so clearly in my memory, delving deeper and deeper into this labyrinth of twisted rooms, trying desperately not to fall into the poison, while getting peppered with these hit-and-run tactics. I was so engaged, so immersed the entire time I slogged through here. Frustrating at times, but gripping. BILEWATER is clearly this game's take on the poison swamp archetype, made infamous by From Software with areas like the Valley of Defilement in Demon Souls, Blighttown in Dark Souls, and Caelid in Elden Ring. I know some people hate BILEWATER for its difficulty, but it didn't really bother me that much. I think the poison in this game actually isn't that bad, because it doesn't drain your health until it kills you, which is what really infuriates me in the Souls games. Instead, it just drains your silk and you have to bind to cure yourself. This ups the pressure and makes it difficult to heal, but you just need to have the right mindset, really. You get poisoned, and instead of freaking out and panicking and dying, you gotta say, okay, I'm poisoned. This sucks a bit, but I just gotta be careful and I'll figure it out. Good times. Also, remember that BILEWATER is where you find the final resting place of Chakra's master. After such a long time watching Chakra try to find out what happened to her master, it's such a beautiful moment to see that she found peace here at the edge of the land. This right here is probably one of the most emotionally powerful moments in the game. You know what? I fucking love BILEWATER! I understand that the challenge here might not be to everyone's taste, but anyone who says BILEWATER sucks or is poorly designed is officially my enemy. This place is beautiful. I recently saw this video, which I'll link in the description, BILEWATER is Metroidvania perfection, and I couldn't agree more. Like City of Tears, BILEWATER also has that unforgettable factor. In Hollow Knight, you might not remember the fungal groves or Fog Canyon, but you'll remember the City of Tears. Likewise, in Silksong, 5 years from now, you might not remember the Underworks or the Far Fields, but you'll remember BILEWATER. You'll remember. It's one of the coolest areas in the game, and while not quite a Tears killer, it makes the list easy. Carrying on. Wisp Thicket doesn't make the cut. It's a culty, haunted forest with annoying enemies and a really shitty boss. Get fucked. Back in the west, we have two big dog platforming areas, the Sands of Karak and Mount Fae. Sands of Karak is a really cool area. I loved it, but in Act 2 without the Coral Tower, I see it as more of just a straight line platforming challenge run. It is memorable and I love the artwork and the gameplay here with the expanding route platforms, but it doesn't quite have enough depth to compete with City. Yeah, I guess because of its strong atmosphere, art direction, and backstory, I'll throw it on the list, but only at the bottom rung. Again, it's basically just a little platforming gauntlet. Mount Fae, on the other hand, is more than just a platforming gauntlet. It's an experience. After finally getting the claw line, you can venture out past the slab to this snowy mountain, the very edge of Pharloom where few dare to travel. I love this area, man. The music is so beautiful, those swelling violas, the plucked strings. It's uplifting. It feels optimistic, like there's something magical hiding out here just waiting for you to reach out and take it!
Ha! Edino!
It stands out so much from the rest of the game. It's lonely and quiet, it's pensive, it's out there, man, on the outskirts, the fringes. It also has excellent environmental storytelling. The technology you find here suggests that this was once a massive weave nest. It has the same glowing light panels and robots as the other weave nests, so this was basically the ultimate weaver's secret base. I felt completely immersed and gripped as I made the climb, feeling my platforming muscles flex as I figured out how to make these clawline runs without feeling the bite of the cold, and one of the best moments in the game is when you finally reach the top, and this freaking huge bird thing comes flying in! Hornet looks around like, what's going on? And it just lands and absolutely loses its shit! Who saw that coming? It then gives you the Fey Down Cloak, which not only grants you the long-awaited double jump, but then the reveal that it also keeps you warm and you don't have to run from torch to torch anymore and can fully explore the area is the icing on the cake. Then this thing just stands here and it's so cute. Like, what a lovely beast. Thank you for this cloak, my friend. I will use this. Mount Fae is one of the best areas in the game for my money, and while not as central or core to the experience as the City of Tears or Choral Chambers, it still ranks very highly. And remember, just making any tier on this list means the area is special. I wish I could rank it even higher, to be honest, but just being a short one-off area, I can't quite put it up there with the City of Tears. And yeah, that's Act 2, man. You can get mad at me if you want, but I don't think any area in Act 2 is more iconic than the City of Tears was. Some come close, but I don't think even the Citadel itself can hold up to the glory of Hallownest's eternal capital. This brings us to Act 3. After completing a special side quest, you can unlock the true final act of the game, Symphony of the Night style. Hornet tries to imprison Grandmommy Silk, makes a boo-boo, and everything goes to hell. What's interesting is that Act 3 is sort of dark and eerie, because Grandmother Silk is having a tantrum and the world is getting consumed by the dark thread. But despite that, it has some of the most beautiful and memorable areas in the game. Who would have thought? First up, we have the Abyss, which isn't one of them. This is a cool throwback to the first game though, and it made me wonder if the abyss of Pharloom is somehow connected to the abyss beneath Hallownest. It's like, no matter where you go in this world, there's always a damn abyss underneath you. This is a fun follow-up to the last game's abyss, but doesn't make the list. It's just whatever. Before looking at the other areas that are unique to Act 3, let's first check if the transition to Act 3 made any of the previous areas more beautiful. For the most part, not really. Most of the areas get infested with black threads spreading throughout the background and actually get uglier, but there are a few exceptions. A new section of Far Fields opens up, which is basically the sprawling savanna where the Scar Tribe ants are hunting down these giraffe bugs for sustenance. Pretty cool. The wormways actually get super nice as the plasmium starts to infest the tunnels, making everything glow a gentle blue. But I wouldn't say any area from the previous acts that wasn't on the list suddenly makes the list because of changes that occur in Act 3. Now for new areas in Act 3, let's start with the Choral Tower. This place exists only as a memory of Crust King Khan, the husked corpse of a once great warrior king whose kingdom lies in ruin, but it's still a unique area that sticks out from the rest of the game. It reveals that in the distant past, the dry desert sands of Karak were once a great kingdom of coral, full of vibrant life forms and lush colors, with waterfalls cascading in the background. I mean, just look how beautiful this screen is right now. I want to drink this place. I want to drink it all up and spit it out. The problem is that this whole area is really just a quadruple enemy gauntlet and a boss, and the music isn't that memorable. As it stands, I was gonna put it bottom tier, but I decided to put it one tier higher because this shot where you Silksong up the tower is fucking radical, and I don't give a shit what anyone says about the matter. What's interesting here, for those who don't know, is that this area could have been so much more. The Choral Tower is all that remains of a larger area called the Red Coral Gorge, which appeared in early promotional material for the game, but that Team Cherry ended up scrapping. Even the blasted steps were supposed to be a part of this area, with early assets showing the judge enemies covered in crusted over coral. It must have been a tough decision for Team Cherry to cut all this work, and we'll never know where the Red Coral Gorge would have ranked, but I trust that they made the right decision. Who knows, maybe it'll appear later as a DLC. So that'll go here, but there is one other memory in Act 3 that I think steps things up a notch. In my opinion, hands down one of the best areas in the entire game, Lost Verdania. Oh baby. Oh my god, Lost Verdania is so sick. Oh my god. Lost Verdania is sick as f***. First of all, the setup to get here is simply amazing. Back in Act 1, you can find a lovely regal bug named the Green Prince imprisoned in a cell on Sinner's Road. If you release him, you can find him in various parts of the Citadel. After destroying the Cogwork Dancers boss, the Green Prince can be found in their boss room lamenting. He explains that the Cogwork Dancers were automatons designed after himself and his lover, the other Green Prince, who offered up his soul to power these machines to protect their homeland of Verdania. However, Verdania ultimately fell to ruin and the Dancers ended up being acquired by the Citadel, and for that reason the Green Prince wants to see them destroyed. No worries there, buddy, I got you. Finally, in Act 3, the entrance to Verdania opens up east of Greymoor. You arrive to find that it's a collapsed heap of caved-in tunnels devoid of life, but the Green Prince has made his way over here to reminisce. You can play the Elegy of the Deep to access his memories and see what Verdania was once like before its downfall, but unlike the Choral Tower, which is just a quick enemy gauntlet, this is a fully fleshed out area, and it absolutely bamboozled me with shock. It is breathtaking, man. In its prime, Verdania was essentially a green paradise, lush and mellow, thriving and safe. The music, beautiful and otherworldly. You feel a profound sense of sadness, like this whole place was lost to time. It's sort of an allegory to both environmental and cultural destruction. Nobody even remembers Verdania except for the Green Prince, and you can tell that the loss of his kingdom eats away at him, fills him with anger and sadness. I love how as you explore his memory, you can see him just chilling there, sitting by the pond, looking out upon his kingdom just happily. It's a happy memory. His lover was still alive, his land was still lush and at peace. Times were good. I also love how in this area you don't have a map. It's so immersive, it really makes you form your own mental map of your surroundings. As you explore, you can gather these orbs, finding all 17 of which grants a secret lore tablet. I'm pretty sure I found 16 and figured I'd find the last one later. Little did I know I would never get that chance. At the end, you fight the Green Prince himself and the memory of his lover. And look, I was trying to be nice. He started it, you know? I'm not for violence, but if you want to throw down, I'll throw down. In your dreams, in real life, I don't care. Kicked his ass in his memory, which kills him in real life, and man, if that isn't one of the saddest things in the entire game. He dies lying next to one of the Cogwork Dancers, the only physical memento from his past he can still hold on to. Damn, man. Obviously, once he's cooked, you can never return to Lost Verdania since it only existed in his memory, and this sucks because I wanted to go back there, but it also makes the area so much more profound. Does it beat the City of Tears? That's definitely up for debate. Personally, I still don't think so, just because it's so short and fleeting, but it's as close as you can get, I'd say. I'd put it at the top of the tier below it. As for Hornet's own red memory, it'll make the list, I guess, but at the bottom. It is a powerful moment as we're taken back to Hallownest. You see several areas from the first game, Hornet training in the Hive, the White Palace, and that did hit me, I'm not gonna lie. It's a throwback Thursday, alright. But you can't really get a good look at Hallownest in this state. It sort of looks muddled and the whole thing is over within a few seconds. So yeah, I think while I do like Pharloom more than Hallownest all around for its sheer scale and overall quantity of awesome areas, I don't think it quite has an area that truly captures the feeling of the City of Tears. Except for one. One area I didn't mention. The best place ever. The best area in the entire game. Fleetopia, baby! Fleetopia is where it's at. These lovable fleas staring death and destruction in the face decide to throw a party, a festival, a celebration of life, of love, of lust. The music is charming, memorable, and lovable. The fleas are having a great time, the place is beautiful, it fits right into the lore, it's an accumulation of an entire side quest in the game, it's relevant, it's fun, great challenges, S tier. Best area in either of the two games, hands down, Fleetopia. It's got it all, man. Got the leader flea, the warrior flea, the big flea, Perv. It's got little guys swimming in the lake, flying around. Everybody's just so happy. It's got it all. Fleetopia has it all. It's just so great. Fleetopia wins!